It's the 13th September, just after 3:15 in the afternoon, and we are down at Culmore. Today is European Heritage Week, or weekend, or day, whatever it is, at Culmore. So we did a wee tour of Culmore Fort, and we got into the fort, and we got disappointed. I'll explain now. I couldn't take the camera with me. We had a tour earlier this morning. I was booked into it, and then I went to cancel, couldn't get it cancelled because there was a band parade in the town. I couldn't do both, so then I put in for the evening parade, or evening booking. She told me that the morning one was cancelled. Only 2 turned up and the rain was lashing, they cancelled it. That's Victoria Hall, so a wee bit of history of this Culmore Community Centre. Victoria Hall was built in the coronation of Victoria. They're built all over Britain now, and I'm making this quick, you know. People say my videos are too long. So they're built all over the place. All Victoria Halls, England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and then it became she said a Masonic Hall, then an Orange Hall. I think it might be all the way around, because there was a Masonic symbol on it before it became a community hall. But either way, there was a Masonic Hall and community, or Orange Hall, and but at the end that was a house, and the man lived in that house, looked after the hall. He hadn't far to go, had he? But I'll tell you, some of the interesting things. We're going to the fort now with Luna. Luna loves history. Done this fort before, but I've learned stuff with this tour. So I have. Some wee bits disappointed me, and some bits excited me. Now I'm easy excited when it comes to history. But see that wee bit of a wall there, boys? That wee bit of wall. And it runs all along. Runs the whole. So that wall goes from Londonderry city centre the whole way down to Culmore Fort. That was built during famine times. There's butterflies flying here too. I've seen 2 in the community garden. There's one over here too. So if they're doing a butterfly count today, I could tell them I've seen 3. Now, I'm not a fan of Luna swimming in the foil. It's like they're doing it for millions of years. So saying about you can find flint. I forget the name of it. I'm no good with names and dates, so I'll have to keep this brief here. Basically, when people come and get flint and make flint tools, there's a name you call these sites, and this beach is one of them. Now, she showed me a couple of, this is a tour guide, she showed me a couple of things that her husband found. But should you be lifting them? And that's the thing about history. Her husband lifted them, and she's got them now to show people, and she'll probably die, and he'll probably end up in a car boot sale somewhere. And people come and used to come and look at, like, these flint things are lying there a few 5,000 years, like. And they've picked them up now, never to be seen again by anybody else. I think things like that sometimes left alone. Now, if I see a bar of gold in front of me, I might pick it up, but you don't go out of your way looking for it. I wouldn't go looking for bits of flint. Piles of flint down in White Rocks and Portrush, you can make your own arrowheads. And the thing is, you pass them around everywhere to see, and they're not sharp anymore. And you wouldn't get an idea how sharp flint is until you get a bit of I have to watch Luna with flint. Any flint in the beach, it'll cut her paws. Flint is very sharp, even before you try and make anything fancy out of it. Just break a flint stone, it's cut into. And then these boys, you hit them in a certain way to make your arrow. So it's not sharp like steel, it's sharp like glass. That's how sharp it is. So that wall there is left from famine times there. And basically what you done, and that's the thing I don't like about historians. I know that woman there is a Catholic. There's nothing to do. I'm a tour guide. I should never know if somebody's telling me history, where they're from. History is history, tell it as it is. So basically what happened was you have all the people in the countryside, the potatoes are failed, they come into the cities. There's no benefits in them days. Still lots of countries today there's no benefits, but what they did was they set up a scheme where landowners could pay a wee deposit, like, to build a wall. I'd imagine it's like Enterprise Ulster. Anybody remembers Enterprise Ulster? Time it went to Northern Ireland. You had long-term unemployed people, and you go out and you do a bit of work, but you didn't work hard. You didn't, and that's the bit. There's 2 things in life that don't add up. I don't understand. If you lift them rocks up there to build a wall, it's heavy work. And the one thing you can't do is eat less food and what it takes to burn up calories to build a wall. Two don't go together. So if you get somebody on the weightlifting, they'll probably eat 5 times the food a normal person eats. When people ate potatoes, they had piles of potatoes. Nobody was hungry during potatoes. Everybody could eat till full. So there was no shortage of food during potato times. And then potato fields. So they're giving these boys money. She says hardly enough of money to feed them. But what is enough of money to feed you? If we just come through COVID and all ourselves, and people got paid for doing nothing. Didn't do much good for the economy, did it? And then people worked in, they worked off. But prices went up after COVID, but wages stayed the same. Could you turn around and say they weren't paying enough wages? It wasn't they weren't paying enough wages, there wasn't enough of food. And if there's not enough of food, it goes up. Toilet rolls were sold out. You couldn't have got a toilet roll. So if a short supply of stuff and the price goes up, do you put wages up to match a short supply? It'd never work in a real economy, because if you did, the price just keeps going up. Unless you do it the Russian way and you give them ration books. So they got paid for building these walls here. You pick a stone up heavy like. But I'd imagine these famine walls and these boys go out, you got the wee clay pipes and all. I don't think they were killing themselves. Back in them days, you didn't have the Industrial Revolution or nothing. You probably spent more time chatting and all the rest, and try and get these walls up. No production, nothing like that. I know back years ago, what you would have done was, say there was no famine, and you want a wall built, and you go to your stonemason. We'll pay you so much to build that wall. If he did it in a day or did it in 10 years, he had a set amount. So he could take whatever time he wanted, really. If he ran over, he didn't get extra money. Leonard's got one stone on the ball. Now I'm sure some of these have been patched up over the years. But if you get down near the bottom, them's the original. They were saying a lot of the houses here belong to wealthy merchants. Still the same today. They might be merchants, but they're still wealthy people down this way. I often think, see if they reclaim a bit of this land here, bear in mind they do it everywhere. If you reclaim a bit of this land around the coast, look at the camper vans now you can park here. People, it'd be a lovely wee place to come down with a bag of chips, wouldn't it? You buy a bag of chips, you come down here and you look out to the water. Londonderry doesn't have anywhere you go with your bag of chips. Lots of other places around Northern Ireland have plenty of places to go if you buy your bag of chips. We're lacking it down here. Some more interesting facts, we'll get on to them when we're down here. She pointed out a fort. They pointed out the original moat for the fort. So I went checked that out on the way back. Never knew it was there. And that's the thing about coming on a tour. You find out stuff you would have known. You're walking past it, but you don't see what's in front of you. And a boy came looking for a football grounds. I don't know any football grounds here. And she told him where it was, down a wee lane. We're going to check that out too. You don't know what's on your own doorstep, I'll tell you. But I'll tell you what I'm noticing about this wall here. If you build a wall today, you only build a wall a certain length, and then you put a joint in it to allow for expansion. They didn't know that years ago. They just kept building and building and building. But if you look at that wall, I'm heading back, you're going the wrong way again. So, hard to see this camera screen. You see sections, a small section. So they must have done a wee section and then buggered off somewhere and then did another section. That's a big section there, boys. So that section goes down as far as this crack. You see the stonework changes, like. The stonework changes as it goes down. So you can see that it's not capped. Over here it's capped again. There's your joint where it joins on. And then this cap, but this bit with the capstone's on, she goes down as far as here and then changes again. So I don't know. It looks to me, it might have been started during the famine times, but it looks to me it could have been damaged over the years, and the people living opposite did their own bit for their own house to maintain it. So say your house was back there, I don't know, she says wealthy merchants, big houses. It's not big enough for big houses. But that was done in sections. You see there's no capstones in that, and over here now, next section, capstone start again. So maybe the capstones is the original wall, and these bits have been repaired over the years. You see, them capstones is the same height as them capstones, and the same height as down below, so in between has been altered. Hey, where's your ball? Oh, there it is. When I did the wee tour of Brook House, they told us about the famine times and about the three houses, Brook House, Boom House and the girls' school, whatever house that is, went together, and they moved the road away from the front of their houses to the back of the houses, and that would have been the same time they built these walls, and they paid for the road, so they had to fund the money for the road, and then ones built it during the famine times. And they reckon part of the reason why they did it was they didn't want to watch all the starving people walking past their front door, because originally them houses had no walls. So although these big houses were massive big houses, there was no walls between the houses. Where's your ball? And the ordinary public roads. Now bear in mind, ordinary public didn't travel too much in them days. As opposed to come the famine, were coming in from the villages and the mountains and all the rest, and walking past their house. So if you go past them houses today, the actual wall on the side of the road will still be the same wall as this. Said about the German U-boats around in here, but we already knew that story. And about the Americans built that wharf, you call it, the place you dock the boats, whatever we call it, the quay. The Americans built that before the war even started. They were getting ready, like, cause it's a bit like Russia now, the way Russia's playing up. Germany just didn't come out of nowhere and start a war. They were building up armies over years, and politicians probably hoped it wouldn't become a war, but they got prepared just in case. Even when World War I broke out, the government had enough of gas masks for all the population. So it makes you wonder, like, how did they know? So there's the wee tower of the fort. That's only a small part there, only a small part. So originally the fort had clay bankings all the way around. Clay banking and moat. See, that's the same there. Curves, no, that curves in twice there. I don't know what to do. It had clay banking moat on it. We're going to walk across it on the way back. That gives you an idea what it was. But over here it was all stone wall where it met the water. So the water would have come right up to the stone wall. That today looks like a house. The windows look like a house. But as you're saying, it was badly damaged. At different times it got badly damaged, and so it's been altered over the years. So originally, if you see the wee window and that gable, that's what the windows would have been. From the inside you can see the stonework, it's all bare stone, and you can see. Another thing too, you see that door out the side, and there's a sloping roof was there. That was added, another structure, and that's why the door was put through there. That's not the original door, and the structure was later taken down. If you look up in the chimney, you'll see a stainless steel chimney. They've got a wood burner in there, so they're using that now for men's activities and stuff, but it wouldn't have been that way originally. So even on this wall here now, you've got one window. You don't see the wee tiny ones. From the inside you can see the wee tiny ones. So all that stone wall has had been fixed up. It's probably badly damaged and all, with cannons or boats coming up there, the Mount Joy shooting at it, like. You know what I mean, like? So it's been patched up on the outside. The walls is well over a metre thick, really thick walls. Surprisingly warm in there and dry. They said they have the heating's a wood burning stove, but it's actually really dry in there. So there's the size the windows would have been. So whenever they came and looked out of that, if you look at this window at the side here, you see that wee window up there? That's the windows they would have looked out of and seen the Mount Joy all coming up. Not that big ornate one. They have 3 floors originally. They've made into 2 floors. When you go up in the door, the original stairs is inside the wall. I wonder can you see it from here? The original staircase is inside the wall. They don't allow you to go up it. and they put in wooden staircase. Now they're using it as a community centre, so they don't allow you to have a place for public with no fire exit. So by having the 2 staircases, that allows you 2 ways out, but they don't use the one with stones, only using the one with the wood. But it's not what would have been there. But the only thing about the wooden one, you can take it all away and it hasn't damaged, apart from a few expansion bolts, it hasn't damaged the tower. A wee interesting thing here, over on the far side is a slipway, and that slipway goes way back, and that's how they crossed the river. They crossed the river across these slipways, wee ferry. That was going quite fast today. It's about like Strangford, so it is. You have a wee ferry now, so we're going sideways. You have to be paddling up on this, you will. And as it says, there was a railway station over there, and everybody on this side of the river from Donegal and all, if they were getting the train, they would have got that wee boat across and onto the station. I don't know why the station in the 70s, that's not that long ago really. So how do you think of a wee boat going back and forward then in the 70s? But I suppose back in the 70s we didn't have a car, so people walked more. And that time then all you had was the Craigavon Bridge. When that was originally built, it would have been the Carlisle Bridge. So you had a long way if you're walking to go from here up to the Carlisle Bridge, up to Londonderry, and walk back down. Or first you wouldn't walk back down. You go up to Londonderry, you get the train, and then the train would bring you down. You wouldn't have to come down to that station. And then that water's going fast. You're not allowed to drown now. I'll tell Luna. They tell us a wee bit about the wildlife too, but all these geese coming from Iceland and some other places and all, and how the foil is very important, the grass and all that. You get all this kind of information, you know, when you go on a wee tour. Luna doesn't care, she just chases anything that moves. But the one wee question I asked her, it says in the sign there, basically what happened, it made most sense when she told it. The boy who built this, now that sign over there tells you they don't know who built it, but what happened was there was something here before, but there wasn't much left. So by the time the English came over, Zach's English built this. The boy that actually built it, you imagine when the white men first went to America and they started communicating with the chiefs, the Indian tribes, and there's a wee bit of barter and all, and it wasn't too bad, you know. There was no big violence or nothing like. Probably the same when the Israelis went to Palestine. First ones went there, no hassle like. And so they got on pretty well, things were calm. But then he sold the place. And so the boy who built this laid out the street layout of Londonderry. So all the roads in Londonderry, it was him laid it out. And he built this, but he sold that off and went back to England. And then another boy bought it. And he was an ignorant git. You know, you get plenty of these ignorant gits. And he upset the locals and all the rest. But they cut a long story short, I don't know, a wee bit in the middle, but they got friendly with somebody in Donegal, and all the families got on the best. They got on the best with each other. You know how you say you keep your friends close and your enemies closer? This is where it came from here. So basically he said, why don't you come round to my house for the evening? Come on round, bring your wife and all we. So he goes to his house, which was a castle just on the outskirts of Londonderry, but in Donegal. And once he entered the house, he said, "What in here?" He put him under arrest, took him as hostage. No violence, didn't slap him or nothing. Just you're not going out. Meanwhile, he comes back over here and walks on the door, all friendly, so nobody thought anything about it. But then, because your man wasn't here, he took over this place, stole all the arms that were stored here, the guns, bombs, whatever it is, and he took everything up to Londonderry and flattened Londonderry. And then after leaving, that type was Derry, took everything up to Derry, flattened Derry, went all up to Staban and flattened Staban. Staban still hasn't got built up since then, it's been blew up ever since. But Londonderry, thankfully, did get on his feet. And the wee question I asked her, which I always thought to myself, had he not taken over that, stole the stuff and flattened Londonderry, would the walls have ever been built? So I reckon probably not. They had to build the walls because your friends are trying to kill you, like. They haven't done it all once. You can't trust them. You know what I mean? Like, they invite you over to the house and then they burn down all your property. And that's why the walls got built. So, that's what I reckon, Lena. That's what I reckon. I know that really doesn't. Who kills who? She just wants to play with a ball. I used to work on a factory just the other side of that power place. Hated it. Every time I come down here and look over, you feel sorry for them boys still working there. And the thing is, they're trapped because of the wages. Mans can't afford to leave. To me, that's just like slavery. No, there's actually a wee bit of shelter here. I'm going to sit in this wee bit of concrete now and play ball with her and watch this water going out. Because I'm always rushing all the time. That would have been an ideal spot if it hadn't been wet. Oh, that's blowy, but there's quite... There's a wee rock. Oh, I don't know about that rock. Who needs to go to the beach? I've got it all here. I like it here. Oh. Sometimes you just have to relax, you know. There's something floating down in the water there. Do you know, it would look like a seal head. Is that a seal there, is it? It's twisting. It's going down the speed of the water. If it wasn't going so fast, I would say that's a seal, the way it's twisting. But it's going the speed of the water, so it could be a bag of rubbish. It's not diving or not, it's not doing nothing. It's probably a lump of log or something. See, that's how people see ghosts and all, you know. You know, something like a log, your mind can make it seem like something else. A wee thing I was wondering the other day, I don't know if I put this in the video or not. A wee thing I was wondering the other day, I did a video on a clay mound outside Cookstown, Culmore Fort, place of the Neils, and somebody left a comment where I didn't mention about the Irish language. Like, what's the Irish language got to do with me walking alone up a clay mound? I don't know. But they were upset that fact I didn't mention the Irish language. But this fort goes away back to 1100s, like 1100s and even before. And I'd imagine the fort is the Stone Age, going away back even before that. So I typed into Google, and you got early Irish, modern Irish, futuristic Irish, 4 different types of Irish. Well, the thing that dawned on me then was even English changes. So folk in Northern Ireland around this part, we use a bit of Old English. So if I would say a ye going, a ye, the ye comes from the English settlers. They're going back to Shakespeare. That's where that comes from. And over this part of Northern Ireland, we were still using words like that. Why, if you do down by Antrim, it's mostly Scottish. And they wouldn't use it so much. But if you go to England, they wouldn't use it because they've got more modern English. And language changes. So I was thinking now, that's what I'm getting at now. One about ghosts. You know these ones, the Ouija boards, and they're talking to ghosts that died maybe a few hundred years ago. They wouldn't understand a word somebody's speaking today. So if these ghosts are talking back, they'd have to talk back in the older versions of the language that they used to speak. So it has to be all a hoax. So we say you're doing a Ouija board, it should go to Y-E-E rather than Y-O-U. That's just a wee thought that came into my head one day. I was like, geez, watch a wee log floating down, and these things go through my head. Well, I think we're ahead now somewhere else. You know where we're going to go, Luna? Not with me. We're going to go and find this rampart, part of this fort. Come on, right, we'll do one more there. We'll do, drop. Oh, the rain's going to come on, Luna. Last one! So there's the original sign there, and it basically tells you it doesn't know when it started. But there's the triangular fort. See the wee photograph of it actually looks a bit better, the colours are faded there. So you've got these, around the back you've got a big clay mound. See the water there? So, she's on about a moat. So they must have had the foil water coming around there. We're going to walk under that next. And down here, she says confusion, it's left over from World War II. A shelter from World War II. So we're going around and see if we can find the shelter that was down there. Come on out, Lena. Lena's seeing wildlife issue. What's in there, pet? Come on this way, pet. Lena. Last thing. When we last thing, the stone steps take you up to the roof. We weren't allowed along the roof. It says you need about 3 people, 3 volunteers. One up on the roof, one at the main door, and one in the main building. See insurance and all nowadays. Well, if I went down to Eske Castle down in Sligo, you can just walk up the ruin, right up the roof, no hassle. I've never seen as many cars parked on this road. Never seen as many cars. I've always gone to football match earlier on. I was told it's down this lane. There's one leaving it now, and I was told they had a car parked down there. So I've never done that. But I'll tell you what we're looking at here now. See that mound of trees? That's part of the original Culmore Fort. So this is the rampart, and it had a moat in between. So just behind their garden now, all them trees now, that's the original moat. So we're going to go and check it out, Lena. Apparently you can walk down under it. So if you might have originally would have been full of water. So I'll find out now. This is the wee lane now that goes to the football pitch. And she's explaining about when you go down the ditch and back up again. That was the moat. And she said it as though everybody knows what she's talking about. I've never been here. Look at that there. So there's a moat in there. It still looks a bright bit higher than the fall. But you imagine over the years, filling up with leaves and stuff, so it will get higher. You need a archaeology in there with a wee trail. Aye, get in there with a wee trail. Look at blackberries, Lena! Short supply blackberries now. Not many left in our place. Oh, look at that bunch over there, Lena. Oh, look at that. See, you glad you came. See, if you hadn't come for this history walk, pet, you wouldn't have got these blackberries. There we go. I'll get a few more on our way out again. What makes you wonder why there's a football pitch down here? I was just looking underneath some of that tarmac. It's a concrete road. Normally concrete roads, farmers, or you go back to World War II. There you are, look, there's water in it, boys. There's still water in the moat. And there's a ditch goes up there. At the other side of that ditch was the fort. Very complex this, Lena. There's concrete there. But I don't see any way to walk in. But now, we're now going down into the moat, Lena. Look at this, Lena. This is history here, boys. This is history. We are walking in history here. So this would have been full of water here. And there's the ditch going up there. And the other side of this ditch is the actual fort. We're in the grounds of the fort. We'll walk down towards the 8, and it's all private houses now. They've stole it all. So it looks like folks walking here. We're walking. You never know where you're going to end up when you get up in the morning, I tell you. You never know. Never knew this place existed here. Hey. Hey, most pretty wide there. We'll go around this side first. Oh, she's doing a poo. No bags out here, Lena. Council don't do buns. That was good timing, Lena, you know, that was good timing. That's her second one today. She's squeezing them out, so she is. I can let you off here, Lena. But Lena, you're not to go after wildlife. You're not to destroy history or nothing. You behave yourself. It's just a pity they allowed them to build houses on there. Oh, where's it going now? Where's it going? Lena! We're going into the moat here. There's a path there, is there, Lena? I want to see this World War II shelter thing. Oh, it's going up this way again, Lena. It's going up this way. Lena loves history, look at that. She loves it. Oh, slipping on a tree root. So that's... Oh no, wee path going out this way, look. There it is there, that's the World War II thing she's on about. It's just a World War II shed. Which is probably why the concrete's on the lane. Give access to this place here. There must be a few others. You think, look at the wee window opens up like. You think a boy would have opened that one time. Probably all smokers back in them days in the war, weren't they? They weren't worried about lung cancer. And the Germans were going to kill them. So this is basically one of the corners of the fort that we're at. And so originally there would have been stone at the corner going by the wee map. There's no stone here to be seen. But this is as far as we can go down. No, go down, get up. Look, she's looking to get down that. Oh, no, get back up again, pet. I go onto the beach here. There's the football pitch the boy was on about. Yeah, that there, what's that wall there? Nah, that's probably the ones he was on about. That's World War II as well. I like a wee bit of World War II, me. What would you keep in a shed like that in World War II? See if it had been covered in clay. Could have been a wee Irish shelter, but nah, it wouldn't have been covered in clay. You wouldn't have gone down. You never know, you never know. There's no sign of a door frame on it, you know. There might be a wee door frame nailed on there. A couple of wee windows in the top. They could have kept anything. Oh, give me the ball, Lena. Lena, give me a ball. One of them footballers didn't use that there for their nets or something, you know. Wouldn't be hard to fix that up, put a wee roof on it. That air on each side. I don't know. There's a wee bit of bricks on each side. Normally you get that there if you got a seats or else storage, oil drums, all that kind of stuff. Oil drums or something like that. Who knows? There's one in the middle. There's a way big span between them. See the way the wall comes out here? Keep the clay back. Let up! Come on, we're going this way now, aren't we? I know. If I was away, I'd love to play around here. All these old buildings and all. Still like to play around here, don't we, Lana? There's not much else to tape here, is there, Lana? But the exit area of the fort was quite big inside. I don't know, what way did we come on? Must be here. Oh no, try this path. We didn't do no climbing coming in, like. Looks like we're going to have to climb to get out, Luna. Where do we get in? That's the football pitch over there, so the entrance is down here. Luna is in the moat. She's in the moat. There we are now, Luna. Oh, we could have come down there. Luna! Want to get lead on? Oh, hold on. Now the way we started, back down on a wee beach again, heading towards the car. Oh, I don't know what's down here. Well, what about down here is a wee bit of glass. Well, the glass could be lying here for years and it's becoming like wee shiny stones in places. But you don't know, somebody could throw down a fresh bottle. I just think the city could make more use of this. I would say it's just the fact there's too many posh houses here. But if you're a nice wee path and all going here and wee benches, this could be a nice destination. You can see ice cream vans and all coming. Now I'm saying that it's stormy a lot of the times, but people like a wee bit of brisk wind blowing.